Dude, no way. There is no way. Third podcast in a row that I go live, I get a phone call. Hello. Oh, it's CVS Caremark. In 3 meters company. I'll deal with that later. Man, what a deal. Like, maybe next week when we go live, there won't be a phone call. That's like the third podcast in a row that I like click go live and I've had a phone call in like the first 10 minutes. And I'm actually kind of expecting a call today. So we'll see what happens with that. Probably be right in the middle of this. Wish I had a way to like patch it in. I'd just let you guys talk to him. How's everybody doing this morning? Can everybody hear me okay? Let's see. Got to get my musics going. I know you guys just love that. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? Ah, yeah, yeah. All right. You guys know the deal. We're just going to hang out for a few minutes. Let everybody get in here. Hopefully, everybody's got their notifications turned on. And then we'll get this show started. Doing good, Mike. Just got back from our favorite local chiropractor. Had him do a little bit of work on yours truly. I went to cut loose on a swing on, what was it, Tuesday? It's like fourth swing of the day. What's up, Mike? Mike Johnson, that is. I got two mics in here. Went to cut loose on like the fourth swing of the day, and my shoulder gave out this thud, unlike something I've never felt. I was like, I'm in my 30s. Been playing ball since I was a kid. Been playing slow pitch for, however long. And I did a lot of dumb shit in my time. And I've never been hurt, never gotten hurt to any terrible capacity other than one time I got hit in the mouth with a softball through a pitching screen, but that's kind of a freak deal. Like, I've never been hurt doing something stupid. I just keep thinking, like, man, it's my time. Like, this is the one. Like, I'm truly injured. I'm down for the count. Take me out back and put me down. So every time I feel something, I'm just like, this is it. Like, I've got a boxer's knuckle in my finger and having some trouble out of it. Man, I thought for sure, like, man, this is it. Like, this boxer's knuckle is finally gonna be an issue, and I'm gonna have to do something about it. I'm gonna have surgery done or something crazy, re-break it or whatever. And went to my favorite local chiropractor, and everybody's favorite local chiropractor, I should say, and had him do some wiggling around on it. Turns out it just had a tendon that was out of whack, and it was riding somewhere it shouldn't have been. He got me lined up from that, and I thought with the shoulder thing that I was for sure, like, tore my labrums. My shoulders have always clicked and popped and carried on between what tinkering I do with cars, and then just the constant, softball and working out and benching like an idiot for years when I was young. Like, I thought for sure that, I had trashed my shoulder, tore my labrum, or something of the variety. Thought for sure that I'd done it in. And I've been messing with it for a couple days, kind of seeing what I can and can't do. And I went into him to kind of see what he thought. And turns out I might have just pulled a pec tendon. So we're gonna hope for the best here. He's got me all KT taped up and got me adjusted and feeling good. He's very good at what he does. So I can be very thankful to have him as a teammate and as a friend. It's always good to have a guy like that on your side. Haddonfield Slasher says, what's your favorite U-Trip bat this year? I mean, I haven't swung a single. I take that back. I have swung a 240 bat. I've swung one 240 bat. I haven't got anything from Headbanger yet, so I can't really do a ton. I did swing a Pure Integrity, and just initial thoughts on the 240s based on what I've gotten from that. Just feels like a regular bat to me, maybe a little bit stiffer than even comparing to last year's 240, maybe even just a little bit stiffer. Or I'm sorry, last year's 220, maybe just a little bit stiffer than that. But performance-wise, I thought it did just fine. I mean, I put 50 swings on it with some 52-300 balls, which everybody is very much encouraging to do with pretty much bats for the last couple of years, but they're really encouraging it with these 240 bats is to put a handful of, I say a handful, I'd say 52-100 swings on it with 52-300s before you start in with the hard stuff. And I don't know if it made a difference or not, but we did that. We put about 50 to 60 swings on this Pure Integrity 2 with 52-300s, and then hit just a handful of Classic M's. And I thought the distance was just as good as it was with the 240, or with the 220 bat. Sorry, with a 220 bat. So initial hot take on the 240s is buy them up. It's gonna be no different than a 220. I'll post a video on that when I get some more kind of research and some more experience with some more of these, because I've got a Juno as well. I can't wait to put some swings on it. If anything, it's a dead sexy bat. So I'll be looking forward to getting some swings in with those. And I do have I've got a 240. I got the Integrity 2, which is a 240. And then I've got another Integrity 2. I've got a 26 and a 27. And then I've got my Gamer Integrity, and then I've still got an Integrity new and wrapper that I'm thinking about busting out and breaking it into the 240 mark, and kind of seeing like new stamp versus old stamp, both at 240. Is there a difference on the radar and that kind of thing, just to see? So I thought that'd be kind of a cool video. Just something to, you know, kind of put these things to the test. I can't wait to get them going. I just put a fresh couple dozen Pro M's in the bag, even threw some Classic M's into, because pretty much it's looking like U-Trip here is going to be hit whatever you want, Classic M or Pro M. So I've got a fresh mix of the M's in there, Pro and Classic. So oh yeah, love putting the pearls in the bag. Shout out to Evil Sports for some of them good softballs. Let's see. What's up, Eric? How you doing? Good morning, sir. Hopefully you're up and around a little bit for this morning's episode. Does anything from the new DeMarini line catch my eye? The Dale Brungard, again, awesome looking bat. Can't wait to swing it. The Nautilus line in general has been fun for the last couple of years, so I'm really looking forward to getting some more swings in with those. Adam, Fat Guy BP in the house. He says stiffer with pop, but with pop, you lose the soft flex from the barrel. Yeah, and that's fine with me. And I will say I watched the Vegas Major this weekend, and they're hitting Pro M balls using 240 bats that we're testing at 240, and it wasn't this like crazy wild pitchers and infielders looking completely defenseless type stuff. I mean, the big hitters were still, you know, mashing the absolute crap out of the ball, and the little guys were earning air hits, you know what I mean? They're just like watching guys with lightsabers out there just, you know, blowing stuff out of the ballpark and you know, just completely making a pitcher look defenseless out there. It was actually kind of a decent game to watch as far as just the style of game. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm reading way too far into that. But none of the bats sounded like absolute cannons either, which was kind of interesting. Let's see. What else we got here? So where's everybody listening from? Now that we're going a little bit later into the day. I meant to ask that last week, and I don't think or last episode, and I don't think I did. So now that we're an hour later into the day, are people at work? Are people still commuting to work? Are people getting ready for work? What's this doing for your situation? Would it be more convenient to go somewhere, host somewhere different later in the day? Let's see. I'm looking up. Because I did want to see. Tuna with Tokyo is working in Indianapolis, Indiana. The old Midwest, baby. You ever go to the Indy 500? Trying to get a couple of things pulled up here. Henfield Slasher uses the Worth Wicked, Ryan Harvey, and the Worth Wicked Andy Purcell. Yeah, those are good bats, man. Got Virgil out in Oregon. Earl Bott out working in Jersey. Man, I got all you guys out here. Eric says he's still in bed. Oh, come on. I go an hour later, just try and help you guys out, and you're still laying in bed. I guess at least you're awake, though. You didn't have to set an alarm, right? Excuse me. How did everybody's weekend go? I know kind of had a break in the podcast. Like I felt kind of lost a little bit. Like usually I got like at least the tabs on what like my podcast usuals are doing. So I kind of catch up with them a little bit. What did everybody do last weekend? Anybody go play ball anywhere? Adam says he's hiding under his desk. Brian Fisk canceled a Skype meeting to be here listening. Man, Brian, you wild. 3-2 at the Mojo in Columbus. Boy, I'm telling you what. I wish I could patch you in here because I got questions about the Mojo. Well, I heard a lot of stories about the old Mojo this weekend. Some good, mostly bad. It's interesting to see the approach that One Nation has taken here to some of this. The whole, I guess, apparently, oh man, let's see. Can I find that picture? Did I screenshot that? Apparently there are guys with hats and trophies with a pretty interesting little hashtag on them. Yeah, the trophy hashtag. I saw it on a couple of hats too. Yes. Oh man. Yeah. So just a quick search. Wow. So just a quick search here of. Let's see if I can pull this up. On the old social medias, man. Social media never lets you down, guys. I'm telling you. So do this. Gotta set up the old window capture again. So this hashtag right here, I guess was a running theme at One Nation this past weekend, and without using the words, because I know some people might be at work or in the car, maybe with their kids or whatever else. Or I know people are catching up with this later. We're gonna say that the word F, the word F, the letter F here stands for fornicate, and U3A. This is essentially a dig at U-Trip. F U-Trip, let's say, is what this is saying. One Nation is basically a spinoff off of GSL or off of off of U-Trip. Basically, it's GSL kind of breaking off and doing their own thing and calling it One Nation. They hosted the Mojo out in Ohio, and apparently this hashtag was everywhere. It was on the plaques. The director was wearing a hat that had it on. I believe there's other people wearing the hat that had it on. Man, that's just kind of wild. That's a bold move on their part. I'll say that. Just kind of wild. See if we can scroll through here. I mean, I just did a quick search on Facebook with that hashtag, and it got a handful of results here. But that's crazy. I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about that. I mean, that's a bold move to throw that hashtag out there. We all know what it means. They know what it means. They being U-Trip. So will U-Trip do something about it? Hard to tell. But you're setting yourself up for a little bit of a mess there, I feel like. Yeah, thank you, Adam. I was actually going to bring that up too. Got Fat Guy BP hooking me up with some good intel here. It's I mean, I'm all for, sanctions and everything kind of breaking out, doing their own thing. So from what I understand, GSL, with the who ran GSL and U-Trip kind of had a butted heads and going of ways, and with that came the start of One Nation. I know it's supposed to be big down in the Texas area, and I believe the Mojo has been GSL in years past, and this was their basically attempt at that for the weekend. And let's see, I'll go ahead and pull up this other post here. Is he gonna let me know? Okay. So, of course, the poster here never gives any credit to who posts these things. They just screen cap them and reshare. So we don't know who actually posted this, because why would you want to do that? People go out here and make content, and then we can just screen cap and repost is whatever we want. But anyway, so this apparently happened at the One Nation Mojo this weekend.
Got one out.
Winning run is on second base. Line drive out there, falls. Now, pay attention here. Winning run is on second base. Third base coach runs down the line with the runner, and there goes the ball right through there. Let's have another look. I'm sure everybody's seen this, but this is just a little crazy.
Get that, Tommy.
That's just wild to me. One more time. Just one more time.
One out.
Look at where the ball comes in at. I'll see if I can pause it where the ball comes in.
Get that, Tommy.
Because here comes the runner. Oh, come on, let me. So there's the runner. A step past the plate. I'm not going to be able to get it slowing it down like that. Basically, I feel like the ball comes through right as the runner came through. Not to mention the confusion of, do you throw the ball, do you not throw the ball, because there's two people running in the fucking baseball. But there was no call on this. The director, or I guess umpire, decided, I don't, that's just crazy. The director denied the appeal of saying, like, hey, he was in the base path. He should be out for obstruction, which the game wouldn't be over because there would still only be one out. I'm sorry, there would be two outs then. But the director apparently said no obstruction, and then came back to say, I'm going to make this right. I wasn't involved in the decision. This was the umpire's decision, whatever else. But It's just that's definitely not how you want to start with the Mojo being one of your bigger tournaments to start the year. The play should have been. I wouldn't even say that the play should have been called dead. John says, why didn't the play have been called dead? The play shouldn't have been called dead. The runner should have been out at home for obstruction on the base coach. 100%. The base coach was not in the box. The base coach was running down the freaking baseline. I mean, it should have been obstruction, 100%. Like, the petty argument of it is, well, the play was over. Well, right, the play was over, but the whole time the runner's running down the baseline and there's somebody else that's not even involved in the play running down the baseline with him. That's just not a good look. So I don't know. That's they're out here swinging for the fences, running this sanction. Apparently, it's kind of wild. But I will say, did anybody watch the Vegas Major this weekend? I know there's a few pretty good games. I watched our local guy, Daniel Larson. Been balling out with that dude since he was just a little guy, a little man. I don't even think when I started playing with Danny, I don't even think he was old enough to drink yet. As a matter of fact, I know he wasn't. He was still a young kid out there just playing league 8 nights a week at Rainbow. He's still doing that, but you know, he was just a kid then. He's moved up through the ranks. Been playing D-ball, played some C-ball, played some B, and then basically jumped straight to A. And playing with Classic Glass out of California. And they gave Resmondo everything they wanted this weekend. The final score of that game ended up being 34-30 in 7 innings. I honestly think that, Danny's a baller. I honestly think that they win that game if they manage home runs a little bit better, because I think that's kind of what bit him in the butt at the end of the game. There was Classic Glass had no home runs left, and Resmondo still had I think 40 U's going into the last inning. And I believe I even want to say there might have been 2 outs when Bradley Jones came up to hit the walk-off, but Bradley Jones is just a stud. I mean, they even got Josh Riley is a professional hitter, and they even got him out a couple times, and that was huge. But you know, you can't ask for much better of a game, especially being an 18 playing a major team, playing Resmondo. You can't ask for much better of a game out of those guys. They played their asses off and made Resmondo earn that game, no matter what level you are or anything else. The fact that you could play a team that good to a game that close should say a lot about your team. I'd be damn proud of that, and definitely build on that moving forward for the year. Now, I want to say a Classic Glass ended up taking maybe Danny might pop in. He does every once in a great while, and say I think the Classic Glass ended up taking the 7th place in the major overall. Resmondo ended up getting knocked out. They lost a game 60-48. I want to say it was. The Big League Dreams games have been known to be high scoring, and that's insane. That is absolutely insane. So let's see. Yeah, the A teams did play very well last weekend. Errol says Mets and Nats going to be COVID postponed. Are you kidding me? So the Mets game is going to be COVID postponed the day after homeboy signs a $341 million contract. Like that's just insane. That's absurd. For those that don't, or maybe just haven't heard yet, Francisco Lindor, the Mets shortstop, signed a $341 million 10-year contract extension. I think there was rumors somewhere that he was wanting close to $400 million over 12 years, and the Mets offered him, gosh, what was it? I think if I remember correctly, the Mets offered him $325. Yes, they offered him $325 for 10 or 11 years. and he turned that down. How? That's just nuts. That's nuts. How can you turn down $325 million? And you know, this is me sitting at home in my bedroom talking to 20 people on a YouTube channel of 10,000 subscribers. But man, I still feel like Francisco Lindor is worth that money. That's like what somebody said. It's the top five, one of the top 5 contracts in baseball history. But man, I just don't feel like he's worth that money. But it's not the number 1 contract in Mets history. I'm telling you right now. For everybody that don't know, Bobby Bonilla Day is July 1st of every year, and he is due $1.7 million until he is 72 years old. He has not put on, they were talking about it last night on the radio. He has not worn a Mets jersey since the late 90s. I want to say, what they say, 98 or 99 was the last time he wore a Mets jersey. And he is still to this day getting paid $1.7 million a year for playing baseball for them. That's nuts. And apparently, they said also he is due $500,000, kind of the same structured contract from the Orioles. I want to say he signed a second contract like that. That's nuts, man. I mean, 1.7 then was a lot of money. Now, I mean, you got guys, I mean, what feels like we're playing for the league minimum of that. But it's still the fact of the matter of years down the road, you've done nothing to void that contract. And you just sit back and collect $1.7 million on July 1st every year until you're 72 years old. Not to count any kind of endorsements he had or any other money he made, or, you know, the turnaround of investment of whatever he spent that money on. The fact of the matter of $1.7 million a year for doing nothing is, I shouldn't say doing nothing, but, you know, you just sit at home and collect a check. You know, on June 30th of every year, you can go out and spend as much money as you can because you know you got $1.7 million coming the next day. That is the number 1 Mets baseball contract. Number 1 baseball contract in history, in my opinion. That's he finessed them real good on that one. Bobby B got the best deal ever, Eric says. Absolutely. Yeah, A-Rod must be turning in the... Yeah, A-Rod's going nuts right now. And A-Rod thought he was number 1 back in the day. But the crazy thing with Lindor getting $341 million over 10 years is, in my personal opinion, I feel like Mike Trout right now is the best player in baseball. No, he doesn't win. No, his team doesn't win. His loyalty to that team says a lot. It says a lot. They don't win, and he still hangs around. You know, people say he chokes in the playoffs and whatever else. I mean, how many times have we seen him in a playoff setting set up to win? Even when he was in the playoffs, nobody thought, all right, well, you know, the Angels are going to win this thing. So in my opinion, Trout is the best player in baseball right now. When Trout is dethroned of best player in baseball, who takes that over? Who takes over the best player in baseball? It's not Francisco Lindor, but yet he still gets a $341 million contract. And that's me sitting at home in my bedroom talking to now 17 people. I just don't feel like he is that good. He is not good enough to demand. I shouldn't say demand. He's not good enough to be the best player in the game with that kind of money. My opinion. Take it for what you will. It's just kind of crazy. And I do think that he signed at the right time because you were going to have a lot of big names in the shortstop position breaking loose this coming year. So if he does crap the bed this year, then, you know, it's all right. He's already been paid. You know, these other shortstops can't come out here and put up better numbers and, you know, potentially take his big contract from the Mets or wherever else. But he did set the precedent for them. If they play better than him, who knows what kind of money they're going to get. But the Cardinals play at 3 o'clock today. That's the main thing coming with baseball right now. Opening day is today. Cardinals play at 3 o'clock. I believe 2 o'clock Central. Looking forward to that. I'm going to get off here, take a nap and then get up and try and catch that game and then lay back down before I got to go to work. I'm dying for some baseball. I can tell you that right now. And I am bummed out that for those of you that do live local or listen to the Cardinals games, this is going to be Mike Shannon's last year announcing the Cardinals games. Definitely bummed out for that. That guy, him and Jack Buck in the day, man, that was the duo. And even listening to Mike Shannon, like I remember listening to Mike Shannon when I was a kid. And it's kind of funny because like the older Shannon gets, and the more into the sauce that he gets, man, it's so I'm distracted here. He gets into the late games and he gets to talking kind of sloppy. His tongue sounds like it's about 2 times too big for his mouth. And it's a Mike Shannon thing, man. If you're a Cardinals fan, you get it. I'm not sure, what everybody else has got for announcers and that kind of thing, but a Mike Shannon sportscast is going to be missed. I can tell you that right now. Roy Williams just retired. Now that's crazy. I didn't realize somebody was saying that Roy Williams is actually getting up there in age. So for those that don't know, Roy Williams, the North Carolina Tar Heels head basketball coach, is 70 years old. I never would have guessed that. The man doesn't look 70 years old. But he did in fact retire. Mike Krzyzewski is 74. I just Googled this here just to see how old Krzyzewski. Yep, him. Duke's coach, Mike Krzyzewski, just to see how old he was. And he is 74. Those guys don't look their age, but I know they've been coaching since I was a kid, so that should put in perspective to how old those guys are. But I am just sitting here kind of rambling, which I hope is okay. I did have a list of stuff that I wanted to talk about. But one other thing. Let's see if I can't. Let's see. Get this pulled back up here. Hopefully you guys can see this somewhat. So at the Trip Roth Home Run Derby, Juneau Athletics is gassing up their guy, Orlando Castillo. They couldn't even spell his name right. Here's a few things about this post that just kind of blow my mind. The Juneau post is here on bottom. Couldn't even spell the man's name right. They did the post here, and then there was a picture of him holding the bat, and I believe the trophy. They got his name wrong on both posts. It's like, damn, man. Is that your guy or what? But anyway, Orlando Castillo beats Mike and Kyle Pearson at the Trip Roth Home Run Derby. Still spending money on old tech with new paint jobs? Try the power of Juneau. And this is a 240 bat testing at about 160. Whoa. So they basically just took a shot at maybe not necessarily at Pearson, but Pearson represents Mikan, so Pearson is going to push back on this. He represents Mikan, and he was part of the situation involved. So Kyle Pearson himself comes back and says, apparently Mikan and all other companies are behind the curve. Unless you 240 bat test at 125, you're not doing it right. Good luck trying to get these past compression all year. I love the tenacity. I love the fact that Pearson was ready to just push back and call him out. For the most part, a lot of the guys that are at this level and in situations that he's in, being kind of a face of the brand, you don't hear a lot of that stuff out of them. So for him to say this says a couple different things. It says, one, that he's not the only one saying it. If a person of this stature is saying it, it's not like he woke up one day and decided, hey, this is what's wrong with this. If a person with a voice this big is saying it, then it's got to be an issue, which is kind of crazy. I do have a Juneau in the garage ready for review. I still need to throw it on the compression tester and kind of see where it's at, but it only has about 50 swings on it. So I'll be interested to see if it's passing compression. I am waiting for it to warm up just a little bit more because I do know that some of the Junos do have durability issues. So I'm kind of waiting to get some temps into the 70s before we do too much hitting on that thing. And of course, I've got this lame shoulder here, so I'm going to try and take a week or two off and kind of see where we're at. Mitchell did say I can get in and get some swings in if I want, just to kind of see how it feels. But for the most part, try and give it a break. So we'll see what we get there. So I'm hoping to get a review in on the Juno soon. But just to kind of see, and I don't expect it to test this low. Who knows what happened to this bat for it to test this low? But the fact of the matter is this is a 240 bat, and it is not supposed to be testing this low. The reason for the stamp change was to get away from bats doing things like this, because this was a very common thing among the 220 bats to, get down into the mid 100s before they eventually fail. Now, being that this bat, if it truly did test at 125, it's got to be cracked on the inside, or there's something else going on. Yeah, I've never seen a bat that wasn't ready to break test that low. I had one testing the very low 100s that broke hitting 52s maybe 20 game swings later. So like I said, unless that thing's cracked on the inside and it hasn't shown yet, or there's something else going on here, this bat should not be testing this low at all anyway, in my opinion. But the fact that it's a 240 testing this low is a red flag. That's not me taking anything away from Juno. I haven't even hit it to know, but if this is the precedent for the 240 bats, the stamp change was just a disaster. Adam says Coach K dyes his hair too much. You nerd. Virgil, yes, I did get the MR1. So Adam says that the prototype won't pass, but the newer stuff will. We'll see. I don't expect it to pass. If it is passing, I don't expect it to pass after we hit it. We're gonna put maybe 100-ish swings on it, and like I said, I don't expect it to pass, but we'll see. But any kind of drama or anything like that, that's it's kind of wild to see KP out there just taking a shot for the jaw on that one. Adam, I think it's the same one you reviewed, Adam. It's the same one that was in that picture that I had pulled up there. The picture you sent me, it's that same model. But I do know, if I want to say that there was a very, very limited early release of those that had horrible compression issues, and then there was a second release that had the compression issue addressed at least a little bit, and I believe that this is one of the bats from the second release. Because when HB got the second release, they sold them. I actually bought the second to last one that HB had in stock at the time. So one thing I did want to talk about, just some of like the crazier things that you've seen, like on a ball field, like kind of one of those, like you kind of like got to look around at your friend to like, did that really just happen? Because what brought up the topic and kind of made me jot down a couple of situations that I wanted to talk about was the situation where the base coach is running down the baseline. The runner runs around him, and turns out there could have potentially been a play at the plate. It kind of made me think about some of the crazier things I've seen on a ball field. Playing over in Chatham, Illinois, at the Mud Bash one year. For those of the Illinois guys that know what's up with the Mud Bash, it's been a thing. I don't even know if that tournament is still around. We missed it one year, and then Stephanie invited us back, and it was week of, and I couldn't put a team together to go travel 4 hours away week of. And she never texted me back after that, so I'm not even sure if the Mud Bash is still a thing or not. But it's over there in Springfield. And it's all turf, and there is rubbers that actually stick up out of the ground, like an actual plastic rubber that sticks up out of the ground. And the winning run was on second base. And I want to say there might have been 2 outs. If not, there was only one. Yes, there was 2 outs. Because the batter before took a looking strike 3 because he knew that if he tried to put the ball in play, that he was going to hit into a double play. So he did not swing at the pitch. But that says 2 things. That says, wow, like, way to know yourself as a hitter. and sacrifice that chance, that opportunity. And then the other part was like, holy crap, like you couldn't have done anything else with it. Like it just hit it in the air, do something. Because there was, at the time, there was one out. Obviously, because the ball wasn't put in play, the winning run was still on second base because there's runners on first and second. He was worried if he hit the ball, it was going to be a double play. So Unselfish took the one for sure out instead of at least trying to hit a fly ball. But regardless, so the next batter comes up and the pitch is thrown. And we're talking like plenty of B caliber players in this tournament. And dude hits the ball back at the pitcher, and he hit it so hard and it hit the rubber just right. The ball shot up so high in the air, guys. I can't even describe how high this ball went in the air. It hit the rubber in front of the pitcher backpedaled after he pitched, hit the rubber, shot straight up in the air, so high in the air that the runner from second base had time to score before the ball came down and the pitcher could get the ball anywhere to make an out. I could not believe what I saw. That was back before I started GoPro in games. Man, I wish I would have got that one. So I could pull up that clip. If you weren't there, you would think I was lying. Just absolutely insane to see that. And then there was another time. So we're talking, what is it? ASA C-State? Can't even remember the year. 2 outs. The game tying run was on third base, and a chopper gets hit back to the pitcher. There's a runner on third, and I want to say a runner on second and third. It doesn't matter. There was 2 outs. A chopper gets hit back to the pitcher, and he just immediately panics. It was such a bang bang thing. I don't know if he had his out count wrong or what was going on, but the ball gets hit back to him and he throws it home. There was no, the runner on third froze. He froze. And by the time all the commotion, the catcher was so confused that he thrown the ball. The catcher just kind of stood there what the hell did you throw me the ball for? And all the while, the runner that hit the ball takes off running the second he hit the ball. And the catcher tried throwing the runner out at first base and did not get the runner out at first. And the next guy ended up coming up and getting a hit, and they ended up winning the game. The team hitting ended up winning the game because the pitcher had the ball hit back at them, and instead of going to first and ending the game, just had a complete mind blunder and just threw it home. That's wild. Let's see. There was a 4-base error to win a game. This was Gabe's story. I was going to try and have him on to tell this story, but things just never jived and worked out for even so I could just record it, because I can't get the facts 100% straight on this one. But I want to say, regardless, it won the game for them. They were out. Gabe and them were out of home runs. I want to say even maybe Gabe hit the ball. Hits the ball to left field. They're out of home runs. The bases are loaded. I want to say they were down by at least 2 runs. The left fielder goes running back, reaches up to catch the ball. The ball was going to go over the fence, and the ball hit off of his glove and landed behind the fence for a 4-base error, allowing Gabe's team to win the game. You can't make that up. You cannot make that up. He lets that ball go over the fence. The game is over. It's ASA. It was an inning out. It's just insane. I could not, could not believe what I saw. It's just, you've been around the game long enough, you just see kind of some holy crap moments. And that was no doubt one of them. Then in that, I want to say, no, it was Home Runs for Heroes. Same field, actually. It happened on the same field as the botched play at State, where the pitcher threw the ball home. Different tournament. So the team hitting needs a handful of runs to stay in the game. I might even have this on film somewhere, but I can't remember if I do or not. So the team hitting needs a handful of runs to stay in the game, and they're putting together a heck of an inning here. They've got 2 outs, and Dude comes up, runner on first, and he goes to hit a ball down the first base line, crushes this ball down the first base line, and it's ASA, so the runner had already started moving. The second the ball crosses the plate, the runner is allowed to lead off, advance, do whatever he's going to do. And he had led off and started to advance. The ball gets hit down the first base line, and he goes to jump over the ball. Dude got up. I mean, this ball is like 4.5 feet off the ground, 4.5. I mean, it was very high off the ground. And dude just instinctively tried to jump up and over it, and it ended up catching him on the inside of his thigh. Game over. He could have ducked. I mean, it's just like you couldn't have been at the worst place at the wrong time. I mean, I don't even consider that the runner's fault. It's just like he hit it so hard he couldn't move. He couldn't get out of the way. The only thing he could do was jump, and it hit him. That's just nuts. It's you never want to end a game like that. What's up, CJ? How you doing, man? Boy, I'm telling you what. If I knew you were going to be here, you could have gave us the fill on this One Nation stuff. Because, boy, I'm telling you what, it seems like there has been some stories out there. Maybe we'll have you on next week, because I know we talked about having you on the podcast. You can give us the lowdown on what's going on with this One Nation stuff, because it seems like it might be kind of crazy out there. So, another crazy thing, this was ASA State. What year was this? Ian Castle will tell you. Ian Castle can tell you. So Synergy versus ADL, and Synergy had been rolling all day long, and I want to say they were, if I remember correctly, they were in the winner's bracket, or they were sitting back. They were in the championship, and ADL came back through the losers bracket, beat them once, and regardless of how it all went down, it was the if game. It was the if game, and I believe, again, there was 2 outs. My man Chris Robinette comes up and hits a ball. It's going right down the line. I mean, it's like it's painting the line. I'm standing like perfectly to where like I can see the ball. The ball comes off the bat. He goes to rip it down the line. They're out of home runs, mind you. So his immediate thought is he hits the ball in the air. And he's thinking like, crap, I hit it out. And then he's right-handed, and it starts hooking. It starts going foul. So you're like, man, it's going to hook foul. Like, I'm out anyway. Even if it goes out, it's going to hook foul. And then at the last second, it comes and it knuckles back into play, bangs off the fence, in line with the pole. The ball falls. The tying run scores. The tying run from second base scores. Chris ends up at second base. And then the very next batter is the guy that runs. It's kind of a cool thing. The very next batter is one of Chris's best friends and one of my friends and the guy that runs the team. And he drove Chris in to win the game. Just absolutely insane. I do have that game on YouTube, but because of the camera angle that I had, you can't see down the line to see where the ball hit off the fence, but you could see everybody's reaction. Everybody just kind of like gave up on the play, thinking the ball was going to go foul. And then the ball ended up coming back. I'm talking like multiple feet foul, like 4 or 5 feet foul. Knuckles back into play, no wind or nothing, and bangs off the fence in line with the foul pole. And fair ball. The ADL guys absolutely lost it. I felt like the ball was fair. They all insisted that it wasn't. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, especially when you're not wanting that call to go against you. You're going to say it's foul. But that was just insane. And what that was, Damon's a big believer in the Tattoo NX3 balls. And personally, I hate them for that reason. Like, they're so unpredictable. I've seen them corkscrew through the air. They knuckle extremely bad, especially in the heat. I know there's people that are very big fans of them. Oh, they sound wicked. They fly crazy. Like, I personally don't feel like they fly all that much better than a regular ball, honestly. And I think that the sound that everybody just raves about comes from the fact that it's a synthetic ball. If you ever hit it like a synthetic classic M in the cold, like some old gold dots or something. If you ever hit those in the cold, those things sound insane. It's the synthetic. It's the sound of the synthetic, and it's the same thing with the NX3 ball. For those that don't know, the NX3 is basically just a piece of poly. What a ball is a piece of poly resin poured into the shape of a ball, and then it has leather wrapped around it. But instead, these NX3s are a coverless ball. It's just a piece of poly with seams molded into it, and they do some weird stuff in the heat. They do some weird stuff if you square them up. I don't like hitting them. I just don't, for that reason. I want to know what a ball is going to do when I hit it, and I just don't. I'm not a fan of those, and I honestly feel like they are, maybe I will go on record as saying, like, they do at times.
Battery low.
Oh man, they do at times feel like they might be a little bit harder than a traditional 52, but because like the bat that I was talking about earlier that broke in 20 more swings hitting 52s, I'd been hitting 52s with a Combat Avarice all year long. It was that bat that, like I said, barely budged the needle when I tested it. Bat head showed no signs of slowing down, been beating the brains out of it, and then out of nowhere, I hit one NX3 with it, and it just completely cracks to the point that, like, it's not even worth swinging again. It just, I don't know, something about that just didn't sit well with me. I already didn't like those balls anyway, but, you hit what the manager provides, and very grateful for that, so you don't have to pay for them. But just the NX3, I'm not a fan of for a multitude of reasons, those being some of them. They're just the unpredictable flight path. Like, who knows what that ball would have did if Chris hit it. I mean, Chris hit it and it would have stayed straight. I mean, maybe it would have hit off the pole and not did all the tailing. Maybe since it was corkscrewing and doing some weird stuff in the air, maybe it lost distance, because you do lose distance when the balls do stuff like that. I mean, it's not spinning. It's not taking a normal trajectory. Any energy it's spent going side to side, it should have spent going forward. And I have seen, like, as a catcher, like being a catcher at times, pitcher throws the ball and you see the batter hit it. I saw a guy hit a ball one time I thought was going to be close to 400 feet, and I mean, he absolutely crushed it. But it was like swirling in the air, like the trajectory and the speed off of the bat said 400 feet, but it was literally swirling in about a 3-foot circle in the air, and it just killed the momentum of the ball and ended up falling short of the fence. Like, you're going to run into knuckling and some weird spin, and sometimes no matter what ball you hit, but it seems like the NX3s are just notorious for it. They suck to pitch with. I think they're terrible to field. But if you're hitting that ball, none of those should matter to you, because you're not the one, you don't have to deal with how bad it is to pitch. You don't have to deal with trying to field it. And that ball design does have its place. Just like Mike said in the comments here, they don't rip. They make decent cage balls. They don't get wet. They don't rip. They don't do anything like that. But like I prefer the Evil BPs over, like, say, the Platinum Dot. The Evil BPs are the same thing. They're still waterproof. They do have a cover that can rip in a cage, yes. But otherwise, I like the Evil BPs much better. They don't have the unpredictable flight path. I feel like they hold up in the heat better. Just an overall better ball design to me. And maybe I am partial because I love me some Evil balls. I got me a fresh batch of Evil 52-300s for league nights coming up. Can't wait to be hitting them things. Got the fresh Evils in the BP bag as well. And I even got a little bit of a care package from the Evil one himself. I haven't opened that yet. I'm going to try and do it on camera and get all that in at once. He didn't tell me what was in the box exactly. He just said, it's going to be a little care package for you. So like, oh, you're on. But that's all I got for topics for the day. We can kind of hang out and chat here for a few minutes. Actually ended up getting through that a lot faster than I thought I was going to. I feel like there might have been one more thing I was going to discuss. But unless it comes to mind, I guess I'm not going to. Virgil, I do not have a discount on Evils, unfortunately. There's so little markup with softballs that by the time he gives a discount and everything else, the money's not there for him. So unfortunately, there is no discount codes available at the time. For the Evil balls. I sure wish there was, so we could get them into more people's hands. Yeah, Eric, the NX3s, like I said, they are good for wet fields and stuff like that, but the BP Rockets and the BP 52 Pluses have poly cores on them and poly threading, so they don't take on any water either. But it's to each their own. I mean, my teammates enjoy hitting the NX3s. They are, the one piece thing is just a rave around here. kind of drives me batty a little bit, but I'm going to have Bobby on soon. So I had a pretty lengthy discussion with him. So I guess I never discussed last week. So the pandemic ended up striking. We did everything we could to try and avoid the virus, and not going places, not doing things, trying to maintain social distancing, not going and kind of mingling at tournaments and doing that thing, and even got the first round of the vaccine, and then ended up having a positive case in the house, and it kind of threw things off a little bit. I slept. So I guess last Thursday would have been the second time the podcast goes live at 10. I woke up at like 8 something and went back to sleep, and didn't wake up until almost 1 in the afternoon. And I thought, well, hell, at this point, I'm sure I left some of you guys hanging, and I am sorry for that. But I just had a lot going on in the house. But everything's all good to go now. Everybody's free and clear. The kids are back at school. The wife's back to, work and everything. So we're all squared away. We're all good to go. But boy, what an adventure of a week that was. So I did discuss with Bobby while I was stuck in the house here. He called, and always enjoy a good conversation with him. The dude's got a lot to say, and he's a very, very smart, knowledgeable person. And he was actually very interested in coming on for the show. I know that you guys enjoyed it when he would stop in the comment section here and kind of answer some of your questions and just kind of chill and hang out with the chat. Because he's one of those guys. He's been around for a long time, so he's seen a lot and he's done a lot. So I thought it would be pretty cool to have him on the show and do that kind of thing. Let's see, we got a message here. Yeah, Adam. More on that in a minute, Adam. Like I can't discuss that yet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having Bobby on the show. Just so things don't get too dry, and I don't want to wear. I'm getting used to this podcast thing. Like, it felt weird not to podcast. I almost just fired up a podcast anyway, even though it was 1 in the afternoon, just to get it in, because it almost feels weird to not make it a part of my Thursday now. I went from, feeling weird sitting here podcasting by myself and wouldn't hardly do it, to now that I've committed to doing this every week, it feels weird when I don't do it. So I do plan on having some guests on just to kind of break up the monotony here, because you guys seem to enjoy it. You all, it's the thing I enjoy about it. Well, we're not raking up a ton of views, and I don't want to. I mean, I've got 17 guys listening, but the thing that I love about it is it's the same group of guys back every week. It's awesome. I love it. In whether it's 10 guys, whether it's 20, whether it's 5, the same guys come back. The same guys come and hang out. The same guys chat, talk in the chat, and the same guys comment on the videos later when they catch up to it. So it's just cool, man. It's cool to talk and interact with you guys, and just in an attempt to not make it the same thing every week where I just sit and ramble. I'm going to start sprinkling in a few guests here and there. I think we'll have CJ on next week just to kind of give us his rundown on the One Nation stuff. They had a hell of a run out there too. They ended up taking second place and splitting the money. They fought back through the losers bracket and won the first game of the championship, and then they ended up splitting. So I'm sure he'll have some good stories from that too, and we can get the down low on some of the disasters that were going on out there. And we'll get him on. We're going to get Bobby on. I am going to reach out to Will for the Slow Pitch Bat Bros. Everybody's been raving about having him on. Will's a cool dude. I'm sure he'll be down for getting on. But he's working that full-time YouTube life, man. He can get up whenever he wants. He can go to bed whenever he wants. That dude's got it made. He is living the dream that we all wish we could have. And for those that don't know, Will with the Slow Pitch Bat Bros, his YouTube channel for baseball is, the last I looked, at almost 150,000 subscribers and growing at a very, very fast rate. Even his Slow Pitch channel he's close to 20,000 subs on his Slow Pitch channel. Dude gets a insane amount of views on his stuff. You got to go check it out. It's good content. He's a super cool dude. Hits the freaking crap out of the ball, and every guy that he hits with can hit a ball 18,000 miles. It's impressive to watch. Kind of makes me feel very inferior, but it ain't gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing, man. We out here for you guys. So I'm gonna have him on too. And one thing can lead to another. Might end up running into a few other guests here and there. I do have a couple in my back pocket here that I don't want to spoil names just yet in case it doesn't work out, but we're going to see what we can get going for that. If anybody's got any questions or topics or anything like that to drop in the comment section here before we wrap this episode up, I'll definitely knock those out. But otherwise, we're just going to kind of chill here for a few more minutes and then go on our way. What's everybody got planned for the weekend? Is anybody playing anywhere? Eric's got an Anarchy Senior coming. So I've swung a lot of the Anarchy stuff. What? I think my car's done. So my car's been in the repair shop for like a month, and I just got a random text message survey from the repair shop. Want to know if I could take 30 seconds to leave them a review. Well, I ain't even got my car yet back yet. So that tells me my car has got to be just about done. I'm looking forward to that. Boy, this Jeep Compass thing just is not cutting it. It's been brutal. So I'll be ready to have my my car back. Get all settled into that. The BP Hero mobile unit. So hopefully that comes today. That's kind of the other phone call I was waiting on here as the podcast gets going. But I never got it, so that's cool too. So yeah, Virgil, the Anarchy 240s. I seen Will's the Slow Pitch Bat Bro. I've seen his video on them. I've been seeing people talk about them. Don't seem like they're too bad. I honestly don't know that I'm going to get a chance to review those. Just kind of a conflict of interest thing. Anarchy is pretty much exclusively sold. And me doing a ton of it. I know I do some Anarchy reviews and do a handful of Easton reviews. But doing a bunch of that stuff is, going to kind of push business in a direction that I don't want it to go. Because I'm trying to get headbanger on the business that I can. Sammy, I cannot come to BMAC this weekend. You're tuning in late. Suffered a small injury on Tuesday. Hoping I'm not going to be down for too much longer. I'm probably going to shut her down for a couple weeks, maybe a week. I may kind of dabble back into it and see. It's kind of looking like I might have pulled or partially tore some some pec tendons. I took a swing. I was out hitting on like my fourth swing of the day. I felt a really hard pop in my shoulder, and it has not been right since. I took about 20 more swings before I realized, this is not good. You should just stop swinging before you actually tear something. I thought for sure I tore my labrum in my shoulder, and I went and saw my friend of mine at the chiropractor this morning. Dude's pretty smart. He kind of did some pulling and some tweaking around and feeling around on it. He kind of thinks it might be some pec tendon stuff. He's got me all wrapped up in KT tape. So we'll kind of see where it goes from here. Even if something is, torn and needs repair, hopefully I can at least get through the season, or at least get through a better part of the year. Not even slow pitch wise. Like, dude, we're getting ready to roll into summer here, and the last thing I want to do is be laid up in an arm sling. So, CJ said, he said the first place co-champs at the Mojo. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, Ryan says, remember that one time a guy sent you a garage made 2-piece pier and you blew your shoulder out? So I was going to swing it that day. I don't want to hear that, Ryan. I was going to swing it that day. And we did get some swings on that 240 Integrity though. And I'm liking what I'm seeing with that. I know you don't care about it, but we're liking what we see out of that. So I think, yeah, fell at work. I'm not even trying to play that card. I've heard the fall at work stories end badly too many times. It for every guy that it works out for, it works out terribly for about 10 more. Very creative though. I see where you're going with that. I've watched a guy one time absolutely wreck himself on a basketball court, and then somehow, I don't know how he managed to get himself to work, but ended up getting himself to work and getting through part of the night at work before he found his golden opportunity, and played it off as a work injury, got it paid for, and even it doesn't matter. He got it covered, but like, I'm just not that bold. I'm not that bold to try that. And I've seen that blow up in people's faces too. So there will not be any torn pec tendons at work. Yeah, CJ. So we're watching CJ's, we're sitting here at the house watching CJ's feed. He's out here just straight grinding through the games. And then we're getting down to like, I want to say it was the last inning, right, Sammy? Wasn't it the last inning of the championship? And then his phone died. His phone died or the feed died or something. I was just like, man, I could not believe it. Could not believe it. It's like they were making a comeback. They were rolling. And then the phone died. And Virgil says he got the Pure Integrity States Edition 70 swings in and 2 paint chips. Man, wish I could say it was surprised. That's a Pure Integrity for you. And I also have, speaking of bats, if you guys follow the channel and you have for a long time, I've got an old friend coming back to visit for a video. I'm excited. I'll let you guys know when it gets here, because I'm telling you that bat puts me in a place, man. What was the last 2 batters that died for? Yeah, Eric, you're right. With the way my luck's been going lately, with the way my luck's been going, I'll go to hit that 2-piece Pure, and it's just going to go kapoof right in my face. You are correct in that, no doubt. Ryan Johnson says, what's going on with the BP Hero fan tournament team we talked about like 2 years ago? Dude, I'm up for that. Totally up for that. With the way things are going this year, that could totally be something that's doable. We can totally organize something. Like, I feel like the Midwest, not to like cater to myself, but I feel like the Midwest would be a good opportunity for like people to come in from like everywhere. Maybe we can find us a tournament that's like a 3 or 4 game guarantee. I mean, it would have to probably be like a Saturday and Sunday thing. So it would be a deal where maybe you fly in on Friday. We could all hang out, take some BP, and then go play Saturday, potentially play Sunday as well. And then, you fly out whenever. That would be super fun. I probably would, if I was going to like just flying by the seat of my pants here, if I was to throw something like that together, I would probably ask for some kind of like cash deposit for player fee for jerseys and that kind of thing. Just so at least there's, it's like, oh, hey, my aunt's cat's mom's brother's niece's mouse died, and we're going to have a funeral. I can't be there. Now, there are people that have legitimate things come up, and they need to be gone. And I totally get that. I've had that happen. But then there's guys that just decide, yeah, man, I want to play softball. I want to get back into the game. And then Friday rolls around, and it looks like it might be cold, and, oh, yeah, I can't make it. I've got to watch my kid. I mean, you knew that all week. You knew all week you had to or didn't have to. Now you're using that as an excuse. But regardless, I'm getting on a tangent. I'm not going to do that at the end of a podcast. But regardless, I would ask for some kind of deposit, just like a non-refundable thing. Is like, then here I am left, like trying to scramble to find a player or whatever else. Like, I just need some kind of commitment that like somebody's going to come. Yeah, and Ryan makes a very good point too, man. Some of us could just do softball. Maybe we make like a legitimate like 3 or 4 day getaway out of it. Do it near an MLB stadium. God, I can't talk. I'm trying to read and talk. Do it near somewhere with an MLB stadium. Catch a baseball game. Maybe get like some box seats or do something like that. I don't know what a lot of the other stadiums offer. I know Busch Stadium in St. Louis has like I can't remember what it's called. I want to say maybe it's Homer's Landing. I know it used to be in the old stadium. Basically, you pay X amount of dollars and you get unlimited food and drink in some air-conditioned seats and very comfortable place and a pretty decent view of the game too. That would be pretty lit. Get in there and get a bunch of slow pitch nerds in there and get all full of food and full of whatever else. So that would definitely be cool. We could definitely get something like that going. Only if Ryan's going to come out of retirement for it, because it was his idea. Let's see. So, like I said, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I got some grown-up stuff I need to go do before I lay down so I can catch the Cardinals game this afternoon. Ryan, you're going to have to text me, man. I got to go. I got stuff I got to do. We got to go to Lowe's and do grown-up stuff. So you text me and I'll argue with you there. Hammer 7491 real quick. How's the year been so far? The year hasn't been too bad. Team has played 4 tournaments, played pretty decent in all of them. We did win on Saturday. I was able to get out of the quarantine just in time to get some action in on Saturday, and ended up winning the championship at a little small town tournament, a little fundraiser deal for the city of Taos, I believe it was. We were down 23-6 in the championship game and ended up coming back and winning the game. I want to say it was 36-25. Technically, it was the guest team had a half run, so we had to score 36. But either way, we were down 23-6 and came back and won in a run rule. That was pretty wild to be a part of, man. The hit parade started. The Sonic team traditionally last year, and it looks like this year too, is going to be notorious for the big one. We had a gigantic inning. I want to say we had a 17 or 18 run inning to get us right back in the game. And then the team we were playing put a couple across, and then we just came back and just kept pouring it on. They changed pitchers, and it just didn't matter. We got a lot of good hitters, got a lot of very good hitters, and had a couple special guests of the weekend that hit very well for us as well. So that was pretty awesome. So the year's going good so far. Looking forward to see where the rest of the year goes. But all right, guys. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for stopping in and checking it out. Hope you enjoyed it. Next Thursday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Central, thebphero.com. Swing hard in case you hit it, and I'm going to catch you next time.